We live? Yeah. We're live here for Pred Talk at Fish on Fire. I want to welcome everybody that's tuning in. I know you've been waiting because I put a post out there a little later, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about in a minute or so. I want to welcome my special guest here, Mr. Kyle Israel.
Thanks for having me,
welcome,
Pat.
Man. Welcome. See there, we got some fans out here. We got some fans out here.
We got a few applause.
Kyle was in case you're a new Predator fan, Kyle was a quarterback for UCF during his time there when he graduated from UCF, and he was an Orlando Predators quarterback in the beginning of our season in 2019, and I believe you got injured.
Yes, I did.
We'll talk about that then. Can everybody hear me over the music? That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. Let me refresh this here so we can see on here because I know people are going to be on here. Kyle, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, like, where are you from?
Yeah, so I was actually born and raised right here in Orlando, East Orlando. Grew up, I guess, right off of Dean Road. So born and raised, my family moved here in 1963. My grandfather worked for Lockheed Martin. So we're Orlando, born and bred. Family went to Boone High School. My dad went to Colonial. And then I went to University High School through my senior year, obviously. And so, yeah, I'm as Orlando as it gets.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not born and raised here, but I've been here since '72. So,
yeah.
And Boone, I went to Evans, so you guys were baseball rivals. We didn't really have much of a baseball team.
I mean, 1972, you're basically a local at this point in time.
There are people that will argue that. They'll argue. They say, "No, you weren't born here." Hey, Reggie Parker, thanks for tuning in. Grant Gore, that is. Oh, hey, he's tuning in from all the way from Troutville, Virginia.
It's a lot warmer down here today than I'm sure it is in Virginia.
Yes.
Although not much warmer. We had a little bit of a cold front come in.
Yeah, we did. I mean, with the wind, it feels a lot colder. A lot colder. Yep, they can hear me. See, they call me Guido. Italian, But thanks for tuning in. Mary Beth Scott. Mary Beth.
Hi, Mary Beth.
She is our season ticket sales queen.
Mm-hmm.
She likes it when I say that. But you went to Boone High School, and I already gave it out there. You went to UCF.
Yep, I went to University High School.
University High School.
My family, my uncles, aunts, mother, all went to Boone. Dad went to Colonial. I went to University.
Gotcha. Okay. That's right down there on 50 in Alafaya, right in that area, right?
Essentially, yeah. Kind of tucked back in there.
Hey, listen, did you, I know I have a question from Steve Morris there, something about you played baseball as well?
I did. Yeah, I played baseball all the way through high school, and something that I was getting recruited in as well, and really made a decision my junior year to really focus on football. That's where a majority of my offers were coming in. Tried to actually play baseball at UCF. Coach O'Leary had a weird rule about if you're a quarterback, you're not playing another sport, and so at that point in time, my baseball days were over. But some people would argue that I was better at baseball for a majority of my life until football kind of took over in high school.
What position did you play on the baseball field?
I was really a catcher for a very long time. Once I knew and got to high school and knew the impact it had on my knees, they switched me over to first base, which I enjoyed, and I pitched along the way. But yeah, really catcher and first base at the high school level.
I played catcher back when I was not even in junior high school. I focused on football, track, and soccer. That's
Got
what,
it.
because I that eye on the ball thing.
Yeah.
We didn't really get along.
It didn't work out for you.
Yeah, we didn't get along. I mean, I'm the right size for it, because I'm small. So baseball, you don't have to be big. But yeah,
I get it.
Tom Traver, University of High School represent.
Let's go.
You know Tom, right? He's one of our Pred heads too. I mean, he comes here when he can. I know he works late, and it's like traffic to get here. It's always great
such
to
as
see
Orlando.
him. Yeah, I know, right? If you got to take I-4, forget about it.
I'm just crossing my fingers that once COVID passes, we'll just drive on the interstate and it'll magically be ready to go. Maybe that's wishful thinking.
Man,
but
I hope COVID doesn't last that long.
No kidding.
You
No
know?
kidding. No kidding.
You know, because I think they got about another 4 years.
Knock on wood for
with I-4. Are you married?
I'm not married.
So you're single or you?
Single.
So ladies, Mr. Kyle Israel is available. Just throw out that number. I'll put it out there later.
No children. At 35, I'm in a unique place in time, and I've enjoyed it. Really anchored in my career and my business career, and that kind of flexibility. Last year at 34 years old, had I had a wife and children, more than likely probably wouldn't have been able to play last season.
A lot tougher.
So
yeah,
it timed up really well.
So are you saying that you hung up the cleats? You're not playing anymore?
I don't know if I made that choice on my own. I think many people would have thought I did that prior to last year. So I'll say I'm not sure. My elbow gave me issues last year, and that's why my season ended prematurely. And I haven't really thrown a football much since then, based on what the doctor told me. So probably my playing career is over. As I get older, I'll look at opportunities in coaching and other things as they come my way. But for now, yeah, I don't have the mindset of returning to the game.
I don't blame you, especially when you were talking about being a catcher in
Yeah.
baseball and then a quarterback.
Yeah.
Those are probably the two roughest positions, because being a quarterback, you get all the glory, but then you get some vicious hits on you when on your blind side and everything else.
You do.
And a catcher, I mean, hell, you get a
Take
fastball
shots
coming
at
at you
home.
at 90
Yeah.
miles an hour, plus your knees.
Back in the day, I mean, catcher was like playing linebacker. You had to catch it, and the guy coming 90 feet at you, ready to
with
take
a
your
full
head
head
off.
of steam.
Yeah,
Oh, without a doubt.
no pads.
Without a doubt. Now, Jarrell Little says, broadcast booth, let's go.
Let's go,
Now,
Jarrell.
you did some, was it play-by-play that you did for the Predators?
Yeah, so I've done play-by-play. Actually, if you go all the way back to the 2010 season, myself and Shot Doctor called the games on the road.
Gotcha.
I think somebody else was doing it, one of the local radio personalities for the home games, but I did the play-by-play analyst broadcasting for the Preds that season specifically, and have done high school broadcasting throughout the years. I've actually broadcasted some games when I played and lived overseas in Germany, Poland, and Russia. And so, yeah, I've always kind of dabbled in that. It's, a lot of people have hobbies. Mine's been in the broadcast space. That's where I like to go
Sure,
for those
yeah.
types of things.
I've been told I have a face for the radio, so, as far as in the
Not with that
broadcasting,
beard,
TV.
man. Not with that beard.
I know. Is it? Tom Traver said that you went to school with his son.
Yes, actually, Tom came up to me and reminded me of that. I think at one of the practices last year, and it's one of those interesting things. As time goes on, you tend to forget names and faces, and so many people have come into your life. But I'm reminded once in a while. That's kind of the unique thing of being from Orlando. I'll run into somebody that, man, it's been 15 years since I've seen you. And that's always kind of one of those unique things in life that's enjoyable.
It's funny how big Orlando is,
Yeah.
but it's also funny how small Orlando is.
No doubt about that.
It's a tight-knit community, especially in the Predator organization. You got Predator fans. I mean, when you're a Predator, you're a Predator for life, brother.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
it. You're a Predator for life.
I mean, I'll give you a quick story. It was really cool. I grew up a Predators fan. I think that there was a point in time in the Predators' history where, at 10 or 11, I'm not sure my parents wanted me going to games, and because of how incredible the environment was. However,
you could say it was risque.
a bit risque.
A bit risque.
But a lot of fun at the same time. I do remember that the Predators won the AFL championship one year in Orlando, and I remember just driving down I-4, I think after church one afternoon, and seeing Pred flags everywhere, people honking their horns, and you've kind of always had that feeling. I did go to Predators games quite often in high school.
Right.
And even when I was playing at UCF, I would make it out to Predators games because it was just such a great environment. I love the game. especially because it's so up tempo and a lot of scoring, and
We're
so I
bringing
know
that
it.
back. We're bringing that back. We're bringing back the fun, the excitement of the Predators of old. We may not have the blow-up toys blowing around, in the jungle, but we're gonna have the street party. We're gonna have the Pred Fest out front. We're gonna have all that stuff.
I'm
back.
looking forward to that.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. We want you to be a part of it too. I'm
looking
sure
forward
we
to
will.
that. Absolutely.
I'll talk to the powers that be because I've forgotten that you do play-by-play. And we'll see what's going on. Yeah, absolutely.
Give me a call.
I know I got your IM, but I got to get your number because I'm sure we'll do something. Jason Lucas says legendary.
What's
Kyle
up, Jason?
Israel.
I do know Jason.
Yeah, and Nick Green, lights look good. You know what? Here's a funny story too. We used to have somebody come in here and they would film and bring the lights and everything else, and it was fantastic. But with Bike Week and right now this time of year, they're drawn away. They have their own thing to do.
Right.
So we're running Pred Talk off of my iPhone, and Phil actually brought in some lights for me one time, and I got like, hey, do you need lights? I'm going like, yeah, great. Brought them in. They work fantastic. And my wife is looking on Amazon, and she goes, I can get these lights for only $49. And I'm going like, I got to have stands. She goes, they come with stands. And I'm going like, really? I said like, get them, because you never know when I need them.
I mean, they look top notch to me.
It's lights.
That's all it is.
There's
Yeah, but it's got that little tone to it, so we don't look too glossy.
You don't see two of us. That's the drink. That's the drink, Phil. But we set it up. I just got them. It was my first time using them last week. And we turn on the lights, and this one here turns on. That one there turns on. It goes, poof. I'm going like, son of a bitch, my lights blew out. Nick Green, right there. He goes, oh, you got the wrong lights in there. I'm going, that's what they came with. He goes, I'll take care of you. 2 days later, in the mail, I get these lights. And I'm
He's the man.
He is the man. He definitely hooked me up. We miss you here, Nick.
This is what my living room looks like now because I'm on Zoom calls all day
Oh,
long.
yeah.
And so when I'm trying to make myself look okay in a presentation, I have to pop up all these lights throughout my house.
Oh, look at here. Tia McDonald. Tia's a good friend of mine. She actually works with Rob Storm. I'm not sure exactly what your official title is, Tia, but I know she is more so with the Carolina Cobras, but she does stuff for the Jacksonville Sharks as
Gotcha.
well. I mean, Boo Sharks, Boo Cobras, but that's okay. She says she thinks you should become a
Cobras fan. I mean,
Yeah,
Cobra.
same with you,
Last
Pat.
couple seasons, Cobras have had some really good football teams.
They've
so
had some really, really good teams.
good quarterback play, exciting football,
Well,
exciting
yeah, I
brand.
mean, I'm not. Three things I don't talk bad about here on Pred Talk. We don't talk about politics, we don't talk about religion, and we don't talk bad about the 2019 season with the Orlando Predators.
It is what it is.
We don't do that because I don't like to dwell on negativity.
I get it.
Excuse me. Steve Morris had a question there. He couldn't make it tonight, but he said you played AAU baseball with their son, and it was sponsored by Dr. Tom Winters, and it was called the Orlando Predators baseball team.
Yeah, I remember that. We played over at the baseball fields over by Katy Way,
Okay.
over by Winter Park High School Stadium, and I do remember that team. I do remember that time. That was really one of my first introductions to AAU baseball. I think our coach was Coach Stuart Hyman, potentially. I think, maybe not. But yeah, great experience for me. AAU baseball was really what I would consider my first really, really competitive platform.
Right.
I had always been part of Little League or Pop Warner, but when you played AAU, especially at that point in time when travel ball was really kind of a unique thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
It was a great learning experience as far as competitive nature and those sort of things were concerned.
How old were
So
you at the time?
12, 13, 14. Really, the Predators kind of took me up until the beginning of high school. So, yeah, it was a great experience.
Hey, Phil. Can you hear Kyle? Okay. He needs to hold the mic up.
A little
That's what I
closer?
wasn't sure. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
I got the good mic. I don't know why it just seems to work that way.
Yeah,
I mean, you can hear him now, right?
I'll talk louder.
Oh, you heard him laugh?
I've been talking on Zoom meeting calls all day, so I'll talk louder.
That's okay.
And they put some bass in it, like I'm under center when I'm screaming the cadence. I can do that.
It doesn't have to be that loud. I mean, really. Oh, one second. All right. So, who's your favorite photographer?
There he is, right there. He's yelling at us.
How about that? There you go. How's that? Is that a good question? Steve Morris also wants to know, did the union ever forgive you for the strike game? I don't know what that's about. I just got a text. He says, did the union ever forgive you for the strike game?
I think he's referring to, I don't know, what season did the AFL go on strike? 2010 or 11? I actually practiced, so I was one of the replacement players. Okay, I actually practiced as a Predator all week. And when game time came, I was about to be the starting quarterback for the Predators. Well, I can't remember who the quarterbacks were for both teams, but they decided to come into the locker room and actually dress out for the game. And all of a sudden, I went in this quick locker room draft and ended up playing in the game for the Pittsburgh Power.
Oh, was that right?
And I didn't even play quarterback. I played special teams because, like I said, both those quarterbacks, I guess came out of their lockout.
Yeah.
But it was very awkward. I lived downtown at the time. I rode my bike over to Amway, and a lot of the Predators players were out there like screaming at me, don't play, don't go in there. They kind of had their little picket sign set up.
The players. Yeah.
So that was kind of this real unique experience where I was just trying to have fun, and all of a sudden I got in the middle of this unique situation at the arena level.
Sure. You just want to play ball.
They did get past it though.
Marilo Bianco, my wife, you know her.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to know what your favorite food is, and secret to great
Tzatziki sauce.
tzatziki sauce.
So I think she's referencing.
Before you answer that, you have a restaurant, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that, so people know. Give your restaurant a shout out.
Yeah. So I am actually I'm the area developer for a fast casual franchise called Little Greek Fresh Grill. And I oversee the operations in this market. We have 11 locations. That's kind of migrated to my side job as I've started to go after some other things that I've been doing in the cognitive training space. But we do have 11 locations here in Central Florida. A lot of people are familiar with our Waterford Lakes location, but incredible Americanized fast casual Greek concept. We have Euro pitas. We have phenomenal tzatziki sauce. To answer your question, Mary, the garlic and the cucumbers, that consistency, that balance is the key to a great tzatziki sauce. And people do it different ways. Some people do it with sour cream. Some people do it with Greek yogurt. We do it with sour cream. And it's very addicting. I'm not sure it's good for my waistline over time, but great cucumbers and great garlic, and you got some good tzatziki sauce.
So you got that right, huh? All right. What Jason Lucas says, one thing about the 2019 season,
it did start 1-0.
No shit, right?
We started 1-0. One of the reasons that I chose to play that year last season was so that my family, and I have a little brother who's 8, had never seen me play football. So it was very exciting for us to get a win, first game of the season. I was able to do it in front of my family and friends that came out. So yeah, that was a great part of the season to get us going for sure.
The first win came back. You guys got
came back at
sword.
the end, scored the touchdown.
I know. Coach Doug Miller still has the sword.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, he took that. Mary Beth's got. Oh yeah, Mary Beth's like, you stole my question. That's okay. Now, let me ask you a question here with the playing for UCF, outdoor football opposed to arena football.
Yeah.
How hard was that to adjust?
It was an adjustment. It really was. I think, for me, people think of my playing days ending at UCF, but I played football for 4 seasons overseas in Germany, Poland, and Russia. I played semi-pro football for the Orlando Rage here in Orlando.
Okay.
So it's not like I was jumping back into the game, but the transition, having never played arena football before, was pretty stark at the beginning. The timing, the routes are different, the angles of the field, needing to see the entire field. It was quite a transition. It was not easy. I think I kind of made the best of it in the short period of time that I had, but it is definitely a different game, and I had to truly approach it a lot differently than I did outdoor football.
Right, because it's so much quicker.
So much quicker.
So much quicker off the ball. You get the ball, they're there. I mean, it's not really like a 3-step and you got to look around. You got a 3-step and throw, right?
And it's not even just the difference in how you play, but just the way the game is set up, right? Like, a team can be down 14 points, and with 3 minutes left, they're still completely in the game.
That's like a whole quarter.
Right, so wrapping your head around, like, not just from a mechanics perspective or from anticipation or from throwing the football, but just understanding the full scope and concept of time in the game and how critical possessions are.
Right.
It's like this unique mix of basketball, football, a little bit of soccer, all in one, which for me was really fun, but was something I had to adjust to.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that. I mean, I've heard that from more than just one player. They're
Yeah.
like, man, coming from, playing on a 100-yard field, coming on a 50-yard field, and it's not as wide, and it's so much fast-paced. I mean, I tell people all the time, 60 to 55, it's not a high-scoring game. That's your average,
That's a great game.
Yeah, that's a great game. That's a fun game right there.
Exactly.
Hey, Thomas, before you go to work, I just wanted to say, hey, recognize you. It's my sister's grandson up in Virginia.
Got it.
On his way to work.
Have a good shift. Clock in, lock in.
Yeah. Let's see what do you got here. Let's see. Jason Luca goes, I remember that night. Ugliest game in arena history. Which one was that? Pretty sure it was scoreless after one quarter.
That sounds terrible.
I know that does. It doesn't sound good. Thanks for the memory, Steve Morris. That erased that one. Well, now it's back in your memory banks. Balin Trujillo, thanks for tuning in, brother.
What's up, Balin?
Definitely heard it from me. What is that? After one inning? It is
It's
so
very
fast.
fast. It's very fast.
Very fast.
And there's also not a lot of give in the ground, right? So that was an adjustment as well. Taking those hits, it was like somebody hit you from the front and then the ground hit you from the back.
They figured it's because the field. Now I was under that misconception. It's like it feels like a padded field out there
Yeah.
because you're inside. That stuff's hard.
Not that padded.
Not that bad. That's what everybody's telling me. And not just you. I mean, Barry Wagner, Herky Walls, people from back in the day.
I give those guys credit. There's a reason they're walking around with a limp these days. It's a tough game.
Exactly. Hey, what did you enjoy most about playing arena football? Now, when you were overseas, that was outside.
Same college rules.
Same college rules, okay.
Yep.
What did you enjoy most about arena football?
Okay, that's a good question. I think first and foremost for me, one of the biggest enjoyments was the size of the team. So when I stopped playing football, I guess competitively all the time, you really lost that locker room vibe. You lost the ability to connect with guys that maybe you didn't grow up in the same situations as them or that have a different perspective of the world. And the locker room for me was one of the only places I could get that perspective and find that engagement. And the unique thing about arena football was that the team was not huge. It wasn't a 53-man roster. So you really kind of got this experience where you kind of got to know basically everybody on the team, even in the 6 or 7 weeks that I was on the team. So that was number one that I really enjoyed. Number
Right.
two, in my time at UCF, we had a really good running back, Kevin Smith. We had some really good NFL offensive linemen, and we ran the ball a lot.
Right.
In arena, there's some running, but for the most part, the quarterback's the center point and the focus of the game. And being able to drop back and throw the ball every play was something that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a running game.
No, it's not.
No, arena football it really isn't, because I mean, as far as swinging and tossing it to the right or tossing it to the left, there's not much room to toss to. So yeah,
No, not at all.
It's get open.
But it is one of the best plays in arena football when you hand it off to an offensive lineman or you hand it off to a big fullback and everybody's kind of rumbling and stumbling down the field. I do like that.
And you got that big boy carrying 4 players down there because the DBs are trying to tackle this big offensive
trying
lineman.
to cut his legs.
It's funny. Mary Beth Scott goes, did you enjoy NFL Europe? Was it hard to acclimate?
Yeah, so I played, actually, when I got over there, NFL Europe had folded, and I was playing initially in the GFL, which is the German Football League, which is probably the 3rd most competitive league in the world outside of the NFL and CFL. Mm-hmm. Some would argue that league's in Japan. But it wasn't hard to acclimate. I think the language barrier was challenging at times, but most people my age or below the age of 50 over there speak English very well. And so, no, the game felt very normal. I think some of the cultural elements, guys smoking cigarettes in the locker room before the game, cheeseburgers being passed around in the locker room before the game, some other weird things. In the locker room was definitely a unique experience. But no, the acclimation process wasn't tough. I mean, those years that I spent overseas were some of the most incredible, rewarding, novel experiences of my life.
How long were you over there?
So I played for 8 months in 2009. I went back and played in Moscow, Russia for 6 months in 2014. I played in Germany after that for 7 months, same year. And then in 2015, I played for 7 months in Wrocław, Poland. So about 3 years total.
So you got to see a lot of the world then.
Ton of the world.
That is awesome.
It was incredible. And and for any guys that are watching right now that may be younger or playing college football or working their way through Arena League, there are some incredible leagues across the world where you're not going to get rich fiscally,
right?
But you will get rich in life experience. You will get rich in culture, and that's what I took away from it.
That's what you got to. I mean, that's what you got to, and it's I say it. Game film. It gets you game film.
100%.
It gets you game film. Get out there. If you're not in the NFL draft, or if you're invited to a camp and then you don't make it, man, find another one. Get that game film in.
Game film and just staying up to playing speed, and just you never know when an opportunity is going to happen. You don't know when somebody's going to see you. And for me, it wasn't about that. I knew that my NFL career was probably done at the end of my college career, but I just wanted to leverage the game as much as possible.
Sure.
And that traveling experience, I could have never paid for that.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, hell, I've only been out of the country. I've been to Mexico and the Bahamas, but I've been to been to every state in the United States.
That's cool.
Except for Alaska and Hawaii. I've
That's
not been
cool.
there, but I've been to every.
That's an achievement.
I had a job when I was young. I sold magazines and books door to door, so I've been everywhere, literally knocking on doors in every state. What an experience that was. I mean,
I've traveled more outside the country than I have inside the country, so I'm envious of that.
You'd be surprised how many people are like that. I mean, I mean, like, I've been to the Alamo, I've been to Mount Rushmore, I've been to Niagara Falls.
That was awesome.
I mean, different things like that, and I'll cherish that forever. I'll remember all.
No
that
doubt.
Stuff. Well, until a couple more years, then I start to forget stuff. So just ask my wife. I forget things. But Mary LaBianca says, well, what an awesome experience for a young man doing what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was.
Mary Beth Scott says, a lot of snow for Floridian. How awesome.
In Moscow, yeah, definitely a lot. I was in Moscow. I got there in January.
Oh.
And let's just say that was quite a unique experience. It was also, I don't know if you remember, they annexed part of Ukraine, Crimea, back then, and that's when I was there. So it was, if you don't know my story from Russia, and we don't have enough time tonight to go into that, but if you just Google my name, Kyle Israel, and type in Moscow, the Orlando Sentinel did a story about my experience in Russia and how I had to flee the country, and my boss got arrested, and I lost a lot of money that was left over there, got held at gunpoint at one point in time. So if you have 3 minutes for a little read, just Google my name in Moscow, and that story will pop up.
I'll have to do that. Mary LaBianca, remember that. And of course, Mary Beth Scott, she's a smart ass. She says, Pat, that's not every state. I said, except for Alaska and Hawaii. So I know. Yeah, see, look it up, Mary LeBear. So do tell. You see, we got people asking comments, and it's pretty much just a couple of people.
I like it.
But these shows pretty much get viewed 1,500 times, so it gets out there.
Yeah.
You'll look on here and you'll see, okay, 10 people watching right now. That's right now. People watch it.
That's the
because they
beauty
wanna-
of
yeah.
being able to do it like this.
I want to, I love it. I love it because, I mean, shout out here to Fish on Fire, you know. If you are on the floor here, we got Joe, we got Morgan taking care of you on the floor, Heather behind the bar. Thank you, Fish on Fire, for letting us be here and sponsoring the Orlando Predators for the 2021 season.
I'm looking forward to having dinner here when this is over.
Oh, without a doubt. I got you
looking forward
covered.
to it. I'm
We got
looking
you
forward to
covered, brother. So I'm going to be running late, Mary, because we're going to have dinner. I'm Googling it now. Of course, Mary Beth, she's Googling it now. You just pay attention, Mary Beth. I want to say something real quick because I kind of put a teaser out there earlier. Everybody's been asking about Predator merchandise. We're working on that now. Hey, with COVID going on, you know, things are moving a little slower. But what we're going to do, and it's going to be probably this week, we have approximately 30 game-worn jerseys and pants from the 2019 season that we're going to be auctioning off. And we're going to do it all like a Facebook auction. So it's going to run probably 72 hours. That way people can look at it, they can put their bid in, they can check and see if somebody's bidding more than them, they can upbid it.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be I don't want to sound like it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. Huge. It's gonna be huge. I've already had a couple people just with that little teaser post contacted me. Previous players going like, "Hey, can I buy my jersey?" And I'm like,
What did I ask you? I asked you the same
you asked
thing.
Me, yeah, you asked me. Hey, you asked me for a number 7 jersey. I'm going like, who the hell was number 7?
I took a few too many hits last year.
17.
I
You
was
were
17.
and it's not there, so you probably already took your jersey.
No, I didn't, man.
That's why we're limited.
Somebody
on
else snagged it.
I got about 30 jerseys we're going to be auctioning off.
That's awesome.
Some really popular players, some really big players. I actually have one set of a jersey and pants with the tag still on. Never been worn.
Sweet.
No name on the back. Never been worn. It's a 4X, so that might fit you, Phil.
Yeah, but a 4X is like perfect to walk around with.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes because those jerseys are so tight fitting, if you try to squeeze in a medium or a large, it's like, I don't know if I want to do this all day.
Listen,
4X is where it's at.
We have one because I was lucky enough to get a jersey. I have Justin Marcus's jersey, number 99. You remember Marcus?
I do.
Justin was huge.
Big guy.
He's 6 foot. He's 6'5", like 6'5", what was he? 265, something like
260
that.
or so?
I mean,
Yep.
huge. He wore an XL jersey. I barely fit into that. I'm going like, how in the hell do you get pads on it plus over your big frame?
With a little help from your friends.
Exactly right. That's what he said. He said, "Oh, it takes everybody. Everybody helps everybody get
It's
dressed."
the only way you can do it.
And but along with the jerseys, we're throwing in the pants as well. So we got you can bid on jerseys and pants. It's a combined thing. We're not going to mix and match.
Sweet.
So whatever's there is there. And since we are doing the jerseys and the pants, I'm gonna throw it out there. Our starting bid's going to be $75 for a authentic Predator game jersey and pants.
Can't beat that.
You can't, because the price tag on the pants alone were $70 new.
Yeah.
These are game worn, and some of your favorite players' name on the back of them. I mean, hey, some
The
of them
quality
don't
was
have
great.
it.
The quality of the uniform was awesome last year. It really was.
I will say this, though. They are game worn jerseys. So a couple of them have a little tears in them. There's nothing major. There's not like, oh, half of it's ripped apart. No, there's a couple of them.
I mean, listen, if a Predators jersey was ripped, it would kind of be pretty sweet.
I'm
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
because I know Justin Marcus is exactly, man, exactly. You know, you point to that right there. You know, we're going back to the old logo.
I like the
with
old
the
logo.
eye.
I like the old logo.
Yes, we have all the rights to that now, so that's there. What do we got here? Let's see. Jay Andrews says jerseys. That's right. Just follow us on, because I'll be posting everything on our Predators site. So it's gonna be pretty exciting. I want to see really how well it goes. Used to have a Greg White jersey. They wore like they're long,
You gotta
but
tuck
they're
them in.
pretty skinny, aren't they? They're very tight. Mary Beth Scott, she's sharing it on Facebook now. Mary Beth, I'm gonna post all of them probably tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, but I think tomorrow I'm gonna do it. Because I have it all laid out like the picture I put on earlier.
I don't know. Tomorrow's a pretty busy day for people, so
This is true.
There may be some distractions
tomorrow. It might be Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday. But yeah, we'll get it out there to you. Just follow me on Facebook, and because anything that I post to, I share it on the Predator site. Anything on the Predator site, I share it on my own private site. So just stay tuned, man. It's coming, and I'm not Greg Myers. I'm talking to you. It's coming, brother. You're getting your wish. Mary LoBianco wants to know, who was your mentor?
That's a very good question. I've had a couple of them over the years. My business partner right now, Dr. Tommy Shavers, who's the founder and CEO of Nestry Performance, which is the company that I'm COO for and with right now, is just a brilliant mind, and so he's definitely my biggest mentor right now. I think growing up, it was my grandfather. My parents went through a divorce when I was 10 years old, so my grandfather and grandmother stepped in very heavily at that fragile point in time of my life, and just added so much value from advice about life, advice about how to handle certain situations. And then I would say my high school coach, John Flath, was definitely a mentor for me as well. Stepped into my life at a critical time when I was trying to make a decision about where I was going to college, and we just set such a great example about being a great father and husband, and had a lot of wisdom because he was starting left tackle for Florida State when Charlie Ward was the quarterback, and so he had this really unique lens of seeing the world from a college athlete's perspective, and just did a good job of preparing me. So those three individuals were critical for me.
Charlie Ward, didn't he just jump from there? He won a Heisman, and then he went to
the NBA.
And then the NBA.
Yeah.
He went to the New York
Talk
Knicks.
about talent.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I'm going to win the Heisman and then go play in the NBA. We'll probably never see that again.
That's what I said when I saw that. He's going to the NBA? And you're like, wow, talent. Yes, the Nick Green goes, game scarred jerseys.
Game scarred, that's a good way to say
jerseys, that's correct. And then somebody else says, here, wait a minute, where's it at? Have the jerseys been washed? Yes, they have. I mean, I know, yeah. If they weren't washed, then they'd start at minimum bid of 125. Greg Myers, see there? Yep. If you didn't hear, Mary Beth will text you. We're doing an auction, Greg. I like how we're bartering here on. Starting bids are going to start at $75, Greg, and that's for game-worn jersey and pants. Okay, I have some home jerseys and away jerseys.
I like both of those.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Other than football, what do you like to do?
That's a good question.
You know who you sound like? You sound like the commissioner, Chris Siegfried. I'd throw up a question to him, and he goes, "That's a great question, Pat."
A little bit of my broadcast training coming out.
That's a great question.
I do like staying present in the broadcast media here in Central Florida. I do a radio show with ESPN as their college football analyst with Jerry Daniels and Live Local Loud on 580 I don't come on every evening, but I add insights throughout the week. I really enjoy staying active and working. I'm currently training for a half Ironman and would like to do a full Ironman in about 18 months, which is a run, swim, and bike.
Right.
And really just trying to continue to stay active. I think the space that I'm in now in cognitive performance training, which is what Nestri is, the company I'm with, a neurostrength company, I've just learned so much about the body and the connection to the brain, and staying healthy physically and what that does for your brain over time. And so I really just anchor a lot in I'm working a lot right now, Pat, to be honest with you. But at the same time, I like going.
You feel blessed.
I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed. I'm very
yeah.
blessed. We're in the startup world, so there's a lot of stress. I'm fundraising constantly. But nonetheless, I really like getting to the beach. I really like getting out on Lake Conway, Chain of Lakes. I have a couple friends that live out there, and so I'm outside quite often. Obviously, I've loved to travel. Haven't done much of that this year, like most people. And yeah, I mean, that really sums it up. I like tennis. I like to get out and play golf. I do those things pretty actively and avidly, and I really try to spend a lot of time with friends. I'm lucky to have a big network of friends that kind of transitioned from UCF and stayed in Orlando. It's been challenging, obviously, this year to do that, but that's what I like to do in my free time.
Have you golfed with Dan Pearson yet?
No, I haven't.
He loves to golf,
I haven't.
and he's got so many Predator stories.
I'd love to
I had
hear
him on
him.
the show last week.
I'd love to hear him.
I'm sure he'd love to tell you.
We'd have to link up.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
I love to golf too. Jarrell Little goes,
Tommy, Dr. Shavers is the founder and CEO of Nestri, and just a phenomenal, brilliant mind, and has created our cognitive training platform. And so we're actually building an app right now for performance, and really a digital workout environment for the mind and the brain.
Right.
And some of our long-term goals are to tackle some of the big brain-based challenges. CTE, notably, is where we're anchored. We've been invested by Calvin Johnson, Julius Thomas. We have Hugh Jackson, the former Brown coach, as an advisor. So I love the space that I'm in right now.
That's awesome. So CTE, is that commitment to excellence?
Yeah, not really.
No, I mean that's great, right?
It is. It is. CTE is a very, very long word, but essentially what is happening through concussions or subconcussive hits that are causing cognitive decline,
Gotcha.
depression, anger. If you've seen the movie Concussion, Dr. Amalu was the first doctor to ever diagnose CTE in a patient post-mortem. And so it's something that is a part of the game. It's something that needs to be addressed, and there's not many answers for it right now, but our goal at Nestri is to continue to provide some solutions and answers for that as we iterate over the years.
Good for you. Mary LoBianco brings up a great point there. You still do some TV stuff too, don't you?
Yeah, up until COVID hit, when the TV dynamics changed and they'd only let certain people come into the buildings, I was working with Spectrum Sports, doing 2 shows a week with them, and loved it. And I look at broadcasting as kind of like a hobby.
Yeah.
To stay, involved in the community that I grew up in. But yeah, I worked with Spectrum Sports as well up until the pandemic, and excited to get back to
It's
that.
John Alba, right? John Alba out there?
Yes, John's out there.
Okay, yeah.
Love John.
We've done some stuff with John.
Yeah, I saw John out at a couple of Predators practices last year, and they did a good job of supporting the team throughout the season.
Yeah, they're great. I love Spectrum Sports. Anything you can do for us, he always says, anything we do for you got something coming up, give us a holler. If they can, they can. If they can't, they can't. Hey, it is what it is. Hey, to date, what professional achievement are you most proud of? Yeah, we didn't get this far on the little.
I think for me, from a professional achievement, where we've grown Little Greek over the last 5 years was a big achievement and accomplished for me, because it was the first time that I was truly in charge of overseeing the expansion of a brand in a market, finding franchisees, vetting franchisees, helping on the site location, helping build out restaurants, training staff. And to know that when I started we had 1 location, and 5 years later we're going to be up to 14, that's when I thought it was time for me to leave that day-to-day role. But that's one of the biggest achievements for me. And then being able to find the investment money for our company, Nestry, was a huge achievement, especially to have guys like Calvin Johnson and those sort of guys invest in the brand. Bruce Miller, who was a football player for UCF. And then really early in my young business career, I had a restaurant called Terrace 390, that was in the old Harvey's Bistro in the Bank of America building downtown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we basically turned that into a successful business. Casey Anthony case helped us a little bit because we had so many media and people down there. But we sold that 2 years later and hit our goal. We wanted to get it up, make it good, sell it, and we were able to do that and created a brand and a menu and everything from scratch. So that was a lot of fun for me.
That's good. No, I forgot all about the Casey Anthony thing and being downtown at that time.
Yeah, unique time.
Yeah. Words of advice to a new player coming in, either the NFL, NAL, CIF, or any of those. Any words of advice you would give to a new player coming in to a professional organization?
Yeah, I think just to, number one, understand that, when you say professional, there's a level of professionalism that comes a part of it. And, if you're at the NFL level, and understanding the financial ramifications, understanding taxes, understanding the expectations of being a pro athlete, I think sometimes is overlooked. But even in the arena level, for me, it was really critical to get to know my teammates, and it was really critical to really be empathetic to others and to understand that everybody's kind of working towards a common goal, and it doesn't really serve a purpose to come in and feel as though you're better than guys. I think I saw at the arena level quite often guys that felt like they weren't supposed to be there. They should be somewhere else. And in the reality, you're there because that's where you belong.
Yeah.
And you may be able to go back up to wherever that is, or you may have a great career in arena football. But really just anchoring and having a plan for what you want your season to look like and what you want to accomplish, I think kind of sets you up for success. And then relax and have a good time because, I stopped playing at UCF 13 years ago. That's like that.
Yeah, it seems like yesterday, right?
It does. And
time flies. Wait till you get my age. It flies less so much
You've got to savor that. You've got to take a moment to be present and just enjoy the little things.
Yeah.
Because you don't really get that stuff back.
There you go.
Thank you.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Don't take anything for granted. Don't take anything can happen. Anything can happen, even in practice. Take every day, one day at a time. Always give it your best 100%. I mean, those are just some of the things.
I have a saying that I kind of created when I was traveling that I used to remind myself, which is live in the moment, prepare for the future, and always learn from the past. And that kind of keeps me anchored in living day to day and being able to have a plan for what I want to accomplish. Thank you.
Greg, I can't reply to you right now on a list of the jerseys on the show, but we will get it out
4, 8, 16.
Yeah, 15, 68, it's there, trust me. I've got 30 of them. When we post it, you will know, because I'll make sure Mary Beth will definitely IM you and let you know the auction is started, okay? Just stay tuned. He posted a picture. Yeah, I thought that's only... Hey, listen, Tom, that's only 10 of them. I've got 30. I've got 30 jerseys, and I think 27 of them have pants. The 3 that don't have the game pants, they're going to be listed separate, so don't worry. All right? And I'm not going to go like, because this player here was more popular than this player, we're going to ask for more. No, they're all going to start. Starting bid's going to be a minimum of $75. So, just stay tuned, Greg. Just stay tuned, brother. Dollars, not pesos. No pesos.
Great deal with the pesos.
What's that?
That would have been a great deal with 75 pesos.
Right? 75 pesos starting out. Hey, if you could, there was another question and it threw me off. If you could have dinner or drinks with 3 people, past or present, who would it be and why?
Be very
and that's
interesting.
yours, and so's that. I got you gifts.
Thank you very much for the merch. It'd be interesting to have dinner right now with Joe Biden and Donald Trump at the same table. I'd
Wouldn't
have
that be a?
I'd
Wouldn't
have
that be
quite a few questions.
Wouldn't that be
Yeah, even more so. Well, I think Donald eats McDonald's fries all the time, so he may love it.
They're the best.
I think that'd be a pretty unique conversation at this point in time, right?
And then have Nancy there, Pelosi.
Yeah,
right?
you could include her. Probably wouldn't get much accomplished.
Just saying, you'd have good, nice drinks coming in. I've seen the videos.
I mean, honestly, in all seriousness, to have dinner with Vladimir Putin after what I learned about him, and I'm not saying that I support anything he does as far as how he does his business, but he's an intriguing mind and an intriguing figure who's somehow figured out how to manipulate everything in his favor.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested in having dinner with him.
I heard they're going to be It went from what was it, USSR to now Russia. I think they're talking about changing it to Putinland or something, right?
What do you mean? It already is that.
Yeah, no. I know.
It's just different name.
That's all it is. What do you say?
Yeah, if you're the referee,
You're the ref. Yeah.
wouldn't be able to get a word in.
I know. Hey, have you been binge watching anything during this whole COVID thing, quarantine? You've been binge watching any shows?
I mean, I think I was like the rest of the world and watched Tiger King very early on.
We did that.
Naturally, but honestly, Pat, I've been so busy that I feel lucky when I get to watch television. So nothing that I've been binge watching. I went through that phase for sure over the last 2 years, but right now, the last 4 or 5 months, nothing really.
My wife and I make it a thing to where we just sit down in the living room with our dogs and we'll watch TV. And if one of us talks, we pause the TV. We don't mute it because we might miss something.
Yeah.
But that's our that's our quality time. You know?
I get it, and I love. I'm a huge 60 Minutes fan, so I'll I'll watch 3 months worth of 60 Minutes in a week sometimes. But they do a really good job of creating storylines. It's not desirable when there's an election around the corner, but for the most part, 60 Minutes I really do enjoy. It's just great journalism.
The last 2-3 months have been the worst kind of TV because it's all been politics.
Yeah.
One guy's bashing the other guy's bashing the other guy. Don't vote for him because he does this. Don't vote for him because he does that. It's just...
It has an effect on our minds over time. It's such a divisive way, and I get how the government was set up, and I understand the Constitution, but it was naturally built in a way that is divisive, right? Despite who the candidates may be, whether we all kind of like them or we all kind of don't, or we really like one and not the other, it's still divisive. I think that's the challenge.
Yep, exactly. Oh, Mary LeBlanc wants to know, did Carol do it?
Carol absolutely did it.
Yeah,
There's
she
no
did.
doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. She definitely did it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Surprised she's still walking around.
I can't believe they even had her on Dancing with the Stars.
That's shocking. I mean, there's due process, right? So I guess she didn't, but I feel like she did.
She never went to court on it, so
No.
it's not like she didn't do it. It's like
Correct.
They just had no evidence.
Correct.
Tigers, they digest
You know,
everything.
that compost goes down into the ground over time.
Yep,
Good
exactly.
luck.
Good luck on getting it out. Hey, what advice would you give a 10-year-old Kyle Israel, knowing what you know, doing what you have done, and where you're at right now? What advice would you give a 10-year-old Kyle?
To continue to have confidence. I think a lot of times confidence can waver in people's lives, and there's some times in my life where I was lacking confidence and just understanding the importance of internal confidence and what that can do for an individual. And secondly, don't live by fear and really attack the day. I think I've also kind of experienced at certain points in my life not moving on certain things because I was afraid of potentially the outcome, or I was afraid if I should do this or say this or whatever. And sometimes fear can get a hold of you, right?
Yeah.
And not allow you to chase after things worth chasing after because we kind of get in this comfort zone. And I can see over time how there were times where I was fearful to even make a play on a football field. And so don't let fear control my life, and be very confident in everything that I did. And then really along the way, I've learned this in my later years, but just try to add value to people's lives. Like really try to go out of your way to add value. And whatever way that is for whoever it may be for, I think if you're trying to add value to people all the time, you're going to get a lot of value in return, and you're going to help a lot of people along the way. And I think those really three things, fear, confidence, and adding value are important to me.
I like that. That's good. I mean, adding value to somebody. Back when I was growing up and in elementary school and junior high school and things like that, you would see the bullying was there, and I was always one of the guys. I was never one of the big guys in the school. But I was always the one that stuck up for somebody that was getting picked on, and befriended them, and tried to bring them up instead of tear them down like other people were doing. That was just me, you know. So I agree with you 100%. You know,
and I had that unique platform where a lot of times people didn't maybe anticipate that I would, you know, try to lend a hand.
Right.
Certainly in high school and college, but I think it's really an important thing to do, because fellow humans are, you know, we're all here for a short period of time.
Exactly.
And I'd much rather be forming relationships than tearing them apart.
Can you imagine what the world would be like if people didn't bully people and, you know, pick on people like that? It would, you know, it'd be a better world. Charities. Is there any charities that are close to your heart?
So this has kind of evolved over the years. There's a charity right now called The Verb Kind that my good friend Haley Hunt started, where she's creating platforms for people to go out and speak in juvenile detention centers across the state. And so I'm really excited about that for her. I'm going to be going and speaking at the juvenile detention center here off Michigan.
Yeah, I know.
And
drive by it every day.
Yeah, if there's anybody, you know, out there watching today or in the future, she's looking for volunteers to go and do that. I'd encourage that. That's you know, many times you go and add value and you get a lot in return out of it. And then I've always been a big fan of the Ronald McDonald House. That's a place
great organization.
Yeah, incredible organization. My father not only worked for Lockheed Martin, but is a youth pastor, and so we went with our youth group quite often to make dinner and provide dinner for the families that were staying there. And since I've served on the UCF alumni board for the last 2 years, one of our individuals that was on the board with me runs the Ronald McDonald House, and so I was able to go out and experience that. So you know, the Verb Kind for me is what's speaking to me now. I really think that, you know, with some of the social divide that we see in this country, you know, especially for me as a white male, to go in there and really relate and you know, provide this kind of bridge and new perspective on the world for some of these guys and gals is something that I feel strongly about.
That's good. No, I love it. My top fan here, see, I have top fans too. It says, Kyle, you are the perfect example of what a player needs to be to the young kids who watch the team play.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah. I appreciate that. That means a lot. It really does.
Yeah,
it really does.
She says it, she means it. I know.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I know.
Good and bad.
Good and bad. She says it, she means it. Hey, listen, some fun questions. If you could wake up tomorrow and have a new ability, what would it be and why? We talked about this earlier. I told you mine.
I don't, this is going to sound really funny, but what's salient to me right now is I was never, this sounds really strange, I was never an Excel genius. I never used Excel in high school or college. I didn't really get exposed to it in the restaurant business, but in what I'm doing now as a COO, I am trying to become an Excel wizard. So if I could wake up tomorrow and literally know Excel and charts and building those things out like the back of my hand, I'd love to have that ability.
See, I want to play piano. My wife has an Excel. She knows all that stuff, so I can just rely on her.
Got it.
You know, and as far as I just want to play piano.
I would say that playing the piano is one of the things that I would really want to have the ability to do. If you have young children, I can tell you that a child's brain and the way that it forms in a scenario like playing the piano can do so much for their intelligence later in life. And so my children from a very young age will be playing the piano, playing the guitar, anything that really makes them think and process quickly. So playing the piano would be one I'd like as well.
I wanted to learn. Well, not learn. I know I can't learn it. We tried guitar and I just can't do it. We talked about that before, but because I've been called an attention whore, so I like attention, and you can just go anywhere. If there's a piano there, you walk through the mall and you see, years ago there used to be a piano at the Altamont Mall, and you just walk in there and just start playing the piano. That'd be so cool.
I'd love walking into a hotel lobby and just plopping down and making people's day.
Yeah, just making people's day. That'd be so cool. Yeah, you are an Excel genius. Just above average.
I'd love to be above average. I'll take that.
I'd just like to know what it means. If you could wake up tomorrow, not if you could wake up tomorrow. Pick a superpower. If you could have any superpower, what would your superpower be? See, now we're in this, just goofy questions.
Yeah, I think I'd like to read minds.
Yeah?
I really think if I could know what somebody else is thinking, what they want to do, not only in business and negotiations, I'd love to know what the other side is thinking. But if you could read minds as a quarterback and know what a coach or a player on the opposing team's trying to do, give you quite the advantage. I know there's some other more exciting things like flying and
was me.
vanishing
and
moving from place to place, but I like reading minds.
But Bill Belichick doesn't need to read minds. He just has people reading lips. So, and it works the same. I think he started that where, he's putting this up in front. I think he started that.
Everybody was trying to block their lips from being read.
What's your dream job?
I think that my dream job would probably be to be a general manager of an NFL organization. Would be a dream job of mine. I think to be on the business side, on the player evaluation side, on player development side, kind of fits all those areas that I really enjoy. And I'd say secondly, like I'm really, truly, honestly in a dream job with what I'm doing now with Nestri. I've always been concerned about performance, and performance most of the time has been thought about from the neck down, right? Strength training, working out, we just kind of work out our bodies.
Right.
And to be a part of a company that is really providing a platform to train the mind, the mindset, the brain, and then hopefully really, like I said, tackle some of those brain-based challenges and diseases is really where I want to be. And there are so many concerns about players' brain health when you finish playing contact sports, and to be able to be in a scenario where I have a platform to hopefully change that and make the game something that guys don't have to worry about when they retire from a cognitive perspective would be just phenomenal.
That's awesome. You got some really good answers, man.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Terrell Little's got a question here. He says, in the past spirit of Halloween, walk us through the play that haunts you to this day. Any team, any game, which play is lurking at every corner just to scare you all over again?
Oh man, you had to bring that up.
It wasn't me, that was Terrell.
No, I know. I think so. We had a play versus Texas in 2007 when we were opening the stadium at UCF, and I think that we were tied at this point in the game, and I threw an out route to my good friend Rocky Ross, and he kind of tipped it, and it was pick six for a touchdown. And prior to the snap, I saw the safety coming down to cover the slot who was doing the out route.
Right.
And I saw the corner very shallow. And literally in my mind, I was saying, Kyle, pump the out route, throw the fade. Pump the out route, throw the fade. I can literally remember saying that to myself. But that brain-body relationship kind of took over, and I threw the out route. And the corner who was shallow was standing right there. And so when he tipped it, it went right to him, pick six. changed the dynamics of the game. It could have been a 14-point swing the other way because the guy I told myself to throw it to it before the snap was wide open down the field. And so that play haunts me because I was aware of what I wanted to do. And had I done that, we may have beat Texas that day.
Is there any player that you hated going against? Is there any particular player that stands out in your mind?
There was this guy back at Oviedo High School when I was a junior. His name was Howard Lingard. And I had never,
Howard?
Yeah.
Everybody knows Howard.
He went on to play for Florida, I think, but he was somebody that when I was in high school, I was legitimately like terrified of. I had never seen somebody that big, that athletic, and I just didn't. I really didn't like playing against him when we did. It's unique because I didn't have a lot of games where I played the same opponent over and over, so I don't have an arena long career where I played this guy for the Tampa Bay Storm X amount of years. But Howard Lingard always stuck out as a guy that I was like, man, I was definitely terrified of him.
I hope he is a Predator fan and he's watching this. I really do. Just to get his name out there. As I was talking with Rusty Russell a couple weeks ago here, and he didn't hesitate a bit. He said, LT, Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
Hated it.
I can understand why.
He told a story about they were playing the Giants. This is when he played for the Eagles, and he was an offensive lineman. And LT come bashing through there, not against him. He said it wasn't me. He goes, but the opposing or the guard or tackle, whoever, whatever position he wasn't playing, LT just came blasted through there, knocked him flat on his ass, and said, "Oh, you got to do better than this."
Lawrence Taylor is a guy that I would never have any desire to play against. I'd love to watch him from the stands on the other side of the football. No, I don't want any part of that.
Jarrell says he remembers that play because he was there. Because
Texas,
Jarrell's a UCF alum as well.
I do.
What's your favorite theme park? Growing up here in Orlando.
Yeah, I grew up a SeaWorld fan. I know controversial a little bit over the last decade or so, but my mom was a pearl diver at SeaWorld and was a part of the dolphin and whale show and was in the ski shows, and so
I remember those ski shows.
Yeah, she was actually one of the people that would get up on one of those pyramids when the girls were skiing, and so I grew up with this affinity of SeaWorld. She always got to take me behind the scenes and pet Shamu or whatever Shamu, or whoever he was at that time, or she, yeah. So I loved SeaWorld. I couldn't get enough of SeaWorld.
Yeah, that's our favorite as well.
Yeah.
That's our favorite.
It was a little cooler when Anheuser-Busch was a part of SeaWorld because you could go to the free beer tent as I got older.
Didn't matter. You could turn around, go down, get in line, and drink your beer and go back up.
Go right back around.
Yep. And now I paid $80 for a mug that I get paid $5 to fill it up. I'm like, but it's a cool souvenir piece. It's a cool souvenir piece. Things will go back to normal. And we'll be able to, everything is going to open up, once everything clears up.
At some point.
Yeah, exactly. If you were stranded, you didn't see this question. If you were stranded on a deserted island, what 3 things would you want to have and why? These are just fun questions.
Yeah, I'd want to have, some flint so I could make sure I could start a fire. I'd certainly love a boat, but I'm assuming that doesn't. That's why you're stranded.
Hey, somebody asked for a cell phone, so I'm like, what?
2020. I think
I'm going to tell you what T.T. Tolliver told me then. When you tell me what yours is, you said, okay, flint and.
Yeah, I think I'd like to have a girlfriend with me. That would be nice if that was an option, and. I don't know, probably like a spear. Like I would definitely want to have like a legit like spear or axe or something that I could cut some wood down so I could use my flint. A chainsaw would be nice.
With unlimited gas.
May run out of gas at some point. What'd TT say?
TT said, I want unlimited supply of Corona. I need 420, if you know what I mean, and a beautiful babe.
Yeah,
Okay, TT. I thought it was awesome.
I won't comment, but I don't disagree.
I mean, it's like, it was funny because I'd be like, dude, I love your answers. It's
a real
out of the
answer.
40 shows that we've done,
That's a real answer.
That's the real answer right there. Everybody's going like, well, I would like,
Flint?
Flint's a great
An
one.
axe?
Yeah, Flint axe. No, everybody's going like, I want my wife and kids there. I'm going like, what? Seriously? And they were sitting out here, and I'm going like, tell us something most people don't know about you. You've opened up a lot. I mean,
Yeah, so a lot of people, most people don't know that I was very much into the arts growing up. So I was in every school musical that I could ever be in. I almost went and took a scholarship going into 6th grade in the Boston Male Choir.
Oh, yeah?
Where I would have been on a singing scholarship from middle school until the end of college. Had I done that, it obviously would have changed the course of my life, and I don't think my voice was certainly as strong as my arm was. But most people don't know that that was something that I had the opportunity to do, and a lot of people don't know my story about having to escape Russia, and that's one of my favorite stories.
When I get home, I gotta look that up. I'm gonna read it. Let's say
I am a thespian, absolutely.
My wife did that too.
I was the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. I was Mr. Bumble in Oliver Trump. I'm trying to remember some
Mike
other
Pence
ones that I did.
And Donald Trump. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, I loved acting. That was like a place for me. I was pretty shy, natured, and so getting on a stage and being able just to be, somebody else and put on a performance, I love that. I love that.
Awesome. So you're an attention whore as well.
A little bit. Comes with a position.
This comes with a quarterback. Yeah, exactly right. Hey, what's the scariest thing you've ever done?
No, so I made a decision to move to Russia in 24 hours. Literally.
No kidding.
So that was extremely scary for me. I basically sold everything that I owned in Orlando. This is 2014, and moved to Russia 24 hours later. So it was quite a dopamine-driven reaction, and I was really kind of yearning for this travel experience that I had 5 years earlier. And so I moved to Russia really not knowing anybody. I was obviously going to play on a team initially, so that's kind of the unique thing, is I do have guys that are there to help me out. But I didn't know anything about the country. All I knew was that it was probably cold and they love vodka, and both of those are true. By the way,
instead of water in the bottles, it's vodka.
Yeah, vodka just goes down much easier over there for some reason. I've never been able to figure it out. But that was a very scary, exciting, adventurous kind of time period for me.
I bet it was, man.
Yeah.
24 hours, and you're going like, okay, I'm moving to Russia. Did your parents have any input and tell you, like,
so
what are you doing?
So to give you a little context, I had gone there and stayed for 4 weeks and played in a playoff game and the national championship game in St. Petersburg, Russia, and came back, and they wanted me to return to work and help develop a league, so that really what they were trying to do was take the Hard Knocks concept and build a league starting with 2 teams, and to play in the 6 major cities in Russia. And so you would have these games, but then you would have this Hard Knock kind of documentary around it, and both teams were going to be living in the same apartment complex. So they were trying to get, women introduced to male football players and kind of get some attraction to the game that way, and then do this little road show where eventually we could grow that over time. And so that was why I ended up going there. And so I knew that that's what I was going to be doing. And so it was just the decision of, do I want to stop my life here? I had just been offered a job as a regional sales and marketing director for Gatorade, which was a huge job, obviously, at 25 years old. And I made the decision to go that direction. I'm very happy that I did.
Yeah.
It was scary,
though. If you didn't, a lot of things would have,
I have no clue.
Yeah, no clue. What?
Probably wouldn't be single with no children at 35, though.
That's right.
If I had stayed in Orlando.
What were you like in high school?
Chunky.
Were you?
Yeah, I was always a bigger guy. I weighed about 235 pounds.
How tall?
In reality, I'm 6'2" and a quarter.
In your mind, you're
6'4". That's what I told every recruiting coordinator. But I was very active. I was SGA treasurer. Like I said, I was very involved in the performing arts. And I just tried to be very well-rounded and as involved as I possibly could be. I see a lot of guys, I played basketball, volleyball, baseball at university. I see a lot of guys that really anchor in one thing, and they try to develop themselves in that space. And really what I think was so beneficial for me was that I got a lot of exposure to a lot of different people doing a lot of different things in high school, and I tried to plug in wherever I could to get as much out of it as I could. And so I would say I was very active, but also very shy. I had a little bit of a weight complex. I always kind of felt like I didn't fit in my uniform the right way. I was a little chunky around the edges, and it took me a long time to get over that. That's one of the other things I would have told my 10-year-old self, like, don't be worried about your body image. Because I always thought a quarterback was supposed to look a particular way.
Sure.
And I'm in much better shape now than I was even then, because I know how important taking care of your health is.
And you're training for Ironman.
And I'm training for an Ironman, which helps. So yeah, I was just very well-rounded and very plugged in, and I think I got a lot out of that.
That's awesome. Now, being where you've been, going where you've been, what's your favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Good.
Great question.
Great question, Pat. There's a couple places, but I really love Prague, Czech Republic.
Yeah.
I lived about an hour away from there when I lived in Dresden, Germany in 2009, and I would take the Autobahn over there. And it's really the one place in the world I've been able to sit at a cafe and look around at all the people and have no clue in the world where I was. Just people from everywhere. And I like to describe Prague as like a Gothic Disney World for adults. Like that is the vibe, that is the architecture, that is the nightlife. And so I really, really enjoyed it because you kind of drive through these sunflower fields into the middle of nowhere. You get to the outside of the city, it kind of feels third worldish. And then you turn the corner and you're coming down this mountain overlooking this city with a river flowing through it. And it's just extremely enchanting and beautiful. And so I loved it there. Second would be Vienna, Austria. I love Austria.
Yeah.
All of Austria.
It's so cold over there most of the time, isn't it?
No.
No?
No, I mean, it depends where you go. They do have the Alps, but where I
That's
was,
what I was thinking.
Where I was, it's probably pretty seasonal, like the Northwest here.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, I guess. Hey, listen, while we're on the topic of the Alps, season tickets. You can get your season tickets still now.
Taking us everywhere today, Pat.
I'm giving you a chance to get a drink. You can get your season tickets now for the 2021 season, still at the 2020 price. Now here's the deal on that. The 2020 season, unfortunately, was canceled due to COVID. But there was only 6 games scheduled to play. Right? 2021, 7 home games scheduled to play. And you're still going to get them at the 2020 price. Starting as low as $98, all lower bowl. Now the $98 seats are from row 8 and up. So you can get a full season of arena football for the Orlando Predators for $98.
Can't beat it.
You can't beat it. I mean,
nope.
There's not a bad seat in the house when you're in lower bowl. Hell, even upper bowl is not that bad. But call Mary Beth at 386-624-3731. Or you can call me 407-595-1179. Can't get a hold of Mary Beth, call me. We'll get you taken care of. We'll get you their season tickets. Another shout out to Fish on Fire for being our sponsors and letting me do, this show here every Monday night. We may be moving it. I'm not sure. We're talking about moving it to Tuesday night because of Monday Night Football. But it's still in negotiations, but I'll still be on Facebook Live, and we'll let y'all know what's going on with that. Sponsorships. Hey, listen, if you got a small business, you want to promote your business, we just had Conway Optical in the house. They are sponsoring the Orlando Predators this season. So, hey, listen, and they just started up. Great advertisement at the Amway Center. All of our social medias. You can get a shout out here on Pred Talk. Give me a call. I'll take care of you there. Back to you, Kyle. if you could pick one song to play every time you walked into a room, what would that song be?
In all seriousness, it would be a song called Paradise by Coldplay. I love Coldplay.
Okay.
I think they're one of the best, performing bands in the world. I'll tell you that when I walked up to bat in high school, they played Who Let the Dogs Out, which was kind of like, some people liked it and some people kind of looked sideways, but I thought it was always funny when I would leave the dugout or leave the batter's box and they were playing Who Let the Dogs Out. It probably wouldn't be what I would do today, but Paradise for Coldplay just always puts me in a good mood and gives me a good vibe, and so I love that.
That's awesome.
When I walk in the room.
Everybody, I won't say everybody, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'd say 70% of my guests that's come out here, they bail out and they go like, oh, welcome to the jungle. That's what I would play. They're like, bro, it's going to come on every time you walk out into the field anyhow. Don't worry about it. What's one that you would? Every time you walked into a room.
I get it.
It's okay too.
Explain to the audience.
Yeah, sure. But I thought it was a cop-out. But it's okay. Because your life, I didn't know a lot of these things. Your life has been pretty interesting.
Yeah, very.
If they made a movie about you, who would you want to play you?
Good question. Man.
While you're thinking about that, there, I'm gonna tell you what popped into my head was the story you told about when, I don't want to say you were a scab, but when the Predators were on strike and you were on scab, I was thinking, okay, he's gonna say Keanu Reeves. When I ask him this question, he's gonna say Keanu Reeves.
No, I don't know anybody that I really connect with that's an actor like that. So I don't know. That's a too tough a question for me to answer. I think that I was there was a show called Dawson's Creek when I was growing up, and there was a guy on there that everybody thought I looked like. I can't remember his name anymore, but that guy would probably be a good replacement for me because we look very similar. Yeah, blonde guy.
I don't know the name. I didn't really watch the show, but I know what you're talking about, and that's okay. Everybody knows who you're talking about too now, I bet.
I would love Justin Timberlake to play me in a movie.
Boom, there you go.
Very, very talented, can do a bunch of different things.
And freaking suave.
Suave, started out in Orlando with NSYNC, a little connection there.
And he's married to Jessica Alba.
Yeah, can't beat that.
Why not? Good choice.
Lucky guy.
Good choice. And that doesn't have to be, now my next question, it doesn't have to be arena football. It doesn't have to be with the Predators. It could be anything. What is your favorite fan experience?
So I had the opportunity to go watch a Bayern Munich soccer game in Munich, and American football fans and baseball fans and basketball fans are incredible, but there is absolutely nothing like a soccer game at really any level in Europe, but to go to a Bayern Munich game and just see the fan experience from when you woke up that morning and walked out into the city, and you've got police caravans separating fan bases, and you got one piece of the stadium's all locked in a fence so that the fans can't get over and fight each other. There's truly nothing like, for me, seeing a soccer game at the highest level in Europe.
They get brutal.
It's wild.
They are. Hey, you think Predator fans are very, very passionate, which you are, but European soccer
it's
fans,
physical.
I've heard where they jump, and I've seen stadiums collapse because they get that crazy.
When I was in Dresden, there were these kind of hooligan fan bases. Each fan base had these hooligans that kind of were the muscle of their fan base. Well, I literally went to this hooligan fight where they planned it. It was out on this hill outside of this town.
Right.
No weapons, 20 guys lined up against each other, and like Braveheart, like storming, excuse me, and just fighting like crazy. I'm like, what am I watching? But they were wearing the colors of their teams, and that was also a very unique experience, to say the least.
I can only imagine. Ben Bennett had just left, and
Yeah.
this next question here, he busts my chops every time because he's like, he'll say like, oh, the show goes really good, and then it takes a curve this way. What is your spirit animal?
Can you define what spirit animal is?
Mine would
What?
be a wolf.
Okay. I would say a dolphin.
A dolphin?
I think dolphins are very intelligent,
They're very sexual.
very sexual. They're can do a lot of cool tricks. They can kill sharks. Yeah, I think a dolphin is just something that I really enjoy. I've always loved dolphins.
Dolphins
Probably
are
why I
great.
love SeaWorld.
And I'm a Miami Dolphin fan, so I'll
Good
take
game.
that.
Good game yesterday. Found a way to win.
Great defensive game yesterday.
Found a way to win.
Tua only threw under 100 yards passing.
93
There was under 100
yards.
yards rushing.
93 yards.
Yeah, hey, man. Whatever it takes, they're coming together.
Tua would probably answer in the press conference, I'm just glad we won the game. So you would hope to see more out of him, but I think, we've seen so many young guys do well at the quarterback position that are kind of context for Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen even, they've
Yeah.
performed really well. I think there's still this natural process.
Tua's going to be there. I know
He
he's
will
going to
be.
be there. I watched, not to get off of Bread Talk, but I watched a documentary on him. It was an hour-long thing. I watched it the other night, and I missed the first 20 minutes of it. It was about Tua through grade school, high school, college, and he had Trent Dilfer mentoring him like
All the
through
way
a
through.
lot of his life, and it's like really helped him. Now, Mary LeBianco says
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum's a good choice. I'd take Channing Tatum also.
See there, and he's a
Good-looking guy.
He's also a Floridian, she said.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she likes the Magic Mike thing. I don't see what it's all about, but you see how many times I get to say Mary Beth. Don't forget, Mary Beth, get your tickets. Call Mary Beth 386-624-3731. Man, we got a quiet crowd tonight. I think the weather's keeping a lot of people out.
Weather, voting anticipation, Halloween, everything.
I think a lot of it. I know Steve and Nancy Morris, they're always here for me, and he texted me earlier today, and he says, I'm not going to make it tonight, I'm going like, are you okay? Is everything okay? He goes, recuperating from the grandkids. And I'm going
From
like,
Halloween.
Okay. Understandable.
Multiple types of recuperation from Halloween weekend.
Yes, there is. I got some silly questions. Oh, but there is one question here I do want to ask. I don't care about that one. Nah. This one here, though, is really, I love this question. I like to get, because I get goosebumps just talking about it, thinking about it. Describe the feeling running out onto the field at the Amway Center in the jungle when they announce your name.
Yeah, that was a really cool experience. It's only happened one time for me, and
It's because you got hurt.
I got hurt, but I loved that. It is something that I think you can't replace. As a matter of fact, those type of moments were motivation for me when you're working out in the off season and you're just like, what can I dwell on to get me through this workout? And it was always, whether it was at UCF, with the Preds, it was always like, I just want that experience. I just can't wait to run out of the tunnel. And it was special for me to be able to do it in front of my little brother and sisters that were there and seeing me do that for the first time. So I truly enjoyed it.
I'm hoping we didn't freeze up here because it looks like we're locked right there. But
We've been locked like that for a little while now.
Have we now?
Yeah.
All right, because I've got 5 minutes ago she did that there, so it must have been 5 minutes. So hopefully it will unfreeze or
Still flashing like we're live.
yeah, it's still flashing like we're live. Hopefully we're good then. Now these are my fast questions here. What's your favorite food?
Euro pita.
Of course. Favorite movie? It doesn't have to be a football movie. It's just favorite
I
movie.
used to say Rudy, but that's changed a little bit.
Now it's Three Men and a Baby. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
no. I think Forrest Gump is like one of my favorite movies of all
That's a
time
great
for
movie.
sure. Yeah.
Great movie. I still like Pulp Fiction and I like Brian's Song.
Both great
As far as my
movies.
favorite football movie, Brian's Song. Favorite actor?
I'm a huge Tom Hanks fan. I love the work that Tom Hanks does.
He hasn't made a bad movie, has he?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he allows himself to be a part of bad movies either, which is
He's
pretty
he's not a money monger.
No, I'm a big Matthew McConaughey fan too.
I like oh hell, I had his name right there. In Yellowstone, what's his name? You know what I'm talking about.
I'm a terrible names guy, to be honest
I'll
with
think
you.
about it. I'll think about it. It's working? All right, good. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it, brother. Maybe just my screen's frozen. Oh, man. What is his name? Now it's just going to throw me off.
I can't.
He's made...
I'm the last guy to help you here.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Sorry.
Hey, Milton, who plays in Yellowstone? Who's the lead actor in Yellowstone? You know hell. Kelly? Yellowstone? No, that's okay. It doesn't matter. I had it and I lost it. That's okay. Snow ski or water ski?
Snow ski all day.
Snow ski, yeah?
That's actually how I got this scar on my face, was from a snow ski, but snow skiing is like my favorite.
Kevin Costner.
Kevin
thank
Costner,
you.
Field
Kevin,
of Dreams, great movie.
He would play me.
Movie.
He would play me. I've seen him in that one movie where he was the GM for a football team. Mm-hmm. And
I know what you're talking
about. Wasn't training day. It was whatever, draft day. And we go like, it didn't get good reviews, but I thought, man, what a great part he played in that.
I love Kevin Costner.
Always thinking. Hot dogs or hamburgers?
I would normally say hamburger, but I love a German sausage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, being over there, I bet, yeah.
They have phenomenal.
Winery or a brewery?
Winery. I would have said a brewery earlier in life, but I'll stay off the carbs, so I like the setting of a winery, a little more laid back.
Mary Lou Bianco, of course. Tom Costner, Kevin Costner, of course, Kevin Costner. Boneless or traditional?
Say that one more time.
Boneless or traditional?
Traditional.
There you go. Sweet or salty?
I'm a sweets guy.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Surf or turf? Seafood or steak? Now remember where you're at.
Yeah, I'm a huge seafood fan.
All right, there you go.
I'm
You're in the right
seafood all
place,
day.
bro. Now here's a very, very important question. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
There you go.
Yeah, all day.
Right.
I'm allergic to cats. Like literally, I cannot stop sneezing if I get around cat dander. So those are just out for me, and they're creepy.
And
Cats are creepy, man.
Cats
come around
are,
the corner. It feels like they're always conspiring
I think
against
they're
me.
all possessed.
They're
all
always
possessed.
conspiring.
Yeah.
Dogs just there to be your buddy.
Dogs are your best friend, man. Dogs are your best friend forever. Trust me, we got 3 of them at the house right now. What's your favorite color?
I'm a blue. I like blue.
Blue?
Yep.
You didn't bail out and go like, oh, black and red.
Black and red was last year, but I'm not going to bail out like that. I'm a blue guy.
Blue guy?
Yeah, I did love. It was the first time I had ever in a football uniform worn black or red. So I loved wearing the black and red. It was a unique experience.
It's a privilege.
I mean,
to wear the
honestly,
black
like
and red
it
over
was
the
really,
Braves.
for me to say that I played for the Preds after following them for so many years, like it was truly special. Like win, lose, or draw, however the season went, like whatever, like I was really excited to just finally have the opportunity. I was trying to convince Pat O'Hara and Jay Gruden along the years to get me out there, but I had gained some weight after college, so I really wasn't in playing shape. And I just always really wanted to. And to be honest with you, like as a kid, I was like, well, if I don't go to the NFL, I can make $100K playing for the Predators for 10 years. And once the league changed, that
With
wasn't
the AFL,
reality.
with the
Yeah, in the
AFL,
AFL,
yeah,
you
it
could
was-
have, for sure. Ask Ben.
Yeah, exactly right. Has been. Well, let me tell you, it was an honor and a privilege to have
Yeah.
you come on tonight. I
Thanks for
really
having me.
appreciate it. I mean, we scheduled it out. You said, give you a couple weeks, let
Yep.
me know, this and that. And it's like, yeah, absolutely, man.
I appreciate it.
And no, I appreciate you coming on. It was fun. I
loved
had a
it.
good time. What I do now is I say, hey, Milton, we do our shout outs.
Yep.
So shout out to whoever you want to, your business, anything you want to shout out, and then I do my shout outs.
Yeah, if you haven't checked out Little Greek Fresh Grill, there's now probably a location pretty close to you here in Central Florida. I'd ask you all to go check out NestryPerformance.com, which is my company's website now. We're actually have a link on there where you can pre-register for a free 90-day subscription for our app when we launch it next year. So NestryPerformance.com, check out Little Greek Fresh Grill. And shout out to Doug Miller for last year having the faith to bring me on as an old guy and giving me an opportunity to play. I'm thankful for that and grateful for that. And of course, my family's been a huge support system for me here in Central Florida, and I'm sure over the next few days they'll be tuning in to watch this. And so I love you guys a lot and really appreciate all the support over the years.
We don't take it down; it stays on forever.
That's the beautiful thing about this.
I know, right?
And go forever.
And it's not even Excel.
I wouldn't have been able to figure it out.
You just click it out, you know. Just click on it and it's there. Any other shout outs you want to do?
No, I mean, I think that's it. I think I'm good with that. Anybody that went to University High School, Knight Nation, UCF fans, it's been an exciting couple of years for us UCF fans. Whether or not we won a national championship or not, we claimed one.
There you go, exactly.
I'll count it. And, you know, for everybody out there that's thinking about going to Predators games next year or buying season tickets, I would encourage it. It's the best value for the buck in Central Florida, for a great environment, great experience, and I think everybody's going to be itching after COVID,
to
get back out,
and get down to the Amway.
Get the kids out. You can't beat it.
You can't beat it. I mean, honestly, $100 for a season, that's 7 games. I mean,
you really can't beat it.
There's not a bad seat in the house. Like, you know, I sound like a broken record when I say that, but it's not a bad seat in the house.
There's not.
I don't care if you're sitting in the end zone, if you're sitting in the last row of the lower bowl. It's a great seat. You know,
and I've been watching the signings that the Predators have had in the off season. There's going to be a lot of really talented guys out there.
We got some, I think we just re-signed Cato too.
Yeah, I saw Cato.
He's back in there. There's a lot of talent.
Make sure you reach out to me if you guys are looking for somebody to do a YouTube broadcast or something like that. I'd love to come on and be the analyst for you guys.
We'll talk. Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. My shout outs now. I want to first shout out. Thank you again, Kyle Israel, for coming on Pred Talk. I want to thank, absolutely, without a doubt.
Thank you.
Of course, I want to thank Fish on Fire for sponsoring the Preds and letting us put this on. Shout out to Conway Optical for being a new sponsor with the Orlando Predators. I want to thank Morgan and Joe and Heather behind the bar for taking care of us all here. Thank everybody that came in tonight. I want to thank, of course, the Orlando Predator organization for letting me do what I do. This is my dream job.
You're good at it, man.
Your dream job.
This is my dream. Hey, listen, that and, pole dancing, but I really couldn't do it. So this is my dream job right here. This is my dream job. I also want to thank and shout out to Florida Man Radio, Shannon Burke, Bubba Lopez Wilson, Jeff Adams, DJ. You guys are awesome. We got to get together soon. I want to thank Nate and Ron, of course, for letting me do what I do. You guys are the best. I haven't worked for such great guys in a long time.
I don't know Ron, but I really enjoyed getting to know him.
I'll introduce you if he's still around here. I think he still is. And I want to thank all first responders. And hey, listen, thank you for what you do. I do want to throw it out here real quick. Tomorrow is election day. I don't care who you vote for, but go vote. Hey, because if you don't vote, I don't want to hear you bitch.
It's all right. We exercise that right to vote.
Exactly right. And if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. So
correct.
Hey, make it happen.
Keep our minds. Keep the peace.
Exactly.
Really try to connect with other humans. People aren't going to be happy tomorrow. People are going to be happy. But at the end of the day,
somebody's going to be ecstatic and somebody's going to be pissed.
At the end of the day, lift the people across the aisle up and be a good example.
Exactly right. And here I do have a Sharpie for you because you get to sign the ball.
Let's do it.
And as he is, pick a spot. It's kind of getting kind of full.
This is where I go always.
There you go. Hey, listen, with that being said, again, I want to thank Kyle Israel for being here. Thank everybody. If I missed somebody, thanks, Mary LoBianco. I love you. Thanks for letting me do what I do. With that being said, peace out and go Preds.
Go Preds.